Hello, and welcome to a training on how to set up an online reports account with the Utah Division of Drinking Water. My name is Cole Smith, and this is just an instructional video to help you set up an online reports account so you can view online reports pertaining to your water system. This does not count for any CEUs. There will not be a quiz afterwards, so you cannot receive any CEU credits for it. It's simply for informational purposes. I have before me a blank web browser. I personally am going to be using the browser Chrome. You can use any browser that you prefer, Firefox or Internet Explorer. I personally like Chrome. I think it's a simple design, and so I'll show you how to use that, but the principle should be the same across the board. First thing I'm going to do, and you can do this two ways. You can search for the Division of Drinking Water online reports, or you can simply type in the web address. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to perform a search for it. I'm going to type in Utah Division of Drinking Water. This will bring up the web page. It's the first Google search found. Click on that, and I'll scroll down on the left-hand side of the screen where it says Online Reports. I'll click on the Online Reports, and it's going to prompt me for a login. Now, I don't have a login, so I'm going to create an account, and I'm going to click on the Register Here to create a new Utah ID account. You can note that anything with a red asterisk is a required field. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this information, starting with my first name, my last name. It's going to ask me to create a user ID. For this personal account, I'll go ahead and put the Cold Smith. That is okay. If this was already taken, as my other one is, that ID has already been selected by another user and it will be grayed out. So I'm going to go ahead and put back my first choice. Now I'm going to create a password. Make this something that you'll remember, but something that's not going to be easy to necessarily get into. I'm going to go ahead and just create mine. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to put in my email account. It's going to verify and make sure that there's not one already created with that. You can put in an alternate email address, and this is in the event that you lose your password. I personally recommend it. I'll go ahead and put in my alternate email address in case I lose my password. And it's going to say that I already have one created with that, so I'd have to put one that I don't already have one created with. You can see why I'm not going to do that. I have two email accounts that I'm going to use, but in the event that I didn't have one already created with that account, it would go ahead and put one in there. Now it's going to prompt me down to this section here that's if I forgot my password, because at some point we may forget our password, we will have incorrectly entered it. And it's going to ask us to go ahead and input some questions to help us prompt that. They'll ask these questions and we'll have to be required to remember the answer. So I'm going to put in, what is my favorite pastime? I personally am a big rower, sculling, so I'm going to go ahead and put rowing. And I can select any one of these. What is my favorite book? My personal favorite book is called The Once and Future King. If I was to put in who's my favorite singer? That's another good one. Or I could do favorite TV show that isn't on anymore, favorite person from history. We can do favorite person from history, and I can go ahead and I will put in Hemingway. If I wanted to put in a cell phone, it could text me either a password or a lost email account. And I'm going to go ahead and create my account here. Oh, you notice up here, right above where it says verify password, that my passwords do not match. I did that on purpose, really, just to make sure that they, to show you that feature, that they will check and make sure your passwords line up. I'll go ahead and correct that now. I'll create the account. Now it's going to go ahead and process and create the account for me. And it's going to come to this section here where I have to activate my account. It's going to email something to thecoltsmith@gmail.com, and it's going to send me a validation code. So I'm going to go over to my Gmail account here, and I'm going to put in and log into my Gmail account. It might take just a moment. All right, it's still not showing up. So I'm going to check my spam filter, and there it is. So that's an important lesson to learn, is that sometimes something will go to your spam filter, so you might want to check there. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as not spam, and that'll send it to my inbox. So once I click on that, it's going to give me a code. My code is XDPV. So I'm going to go back here to my activation page, type in my code, and it will activate it. Now there are some other alternatives you could do. If you have a Google account, it'll allow you to bypass activation, but it only gives you 3 times, which you can use to bypass the activation. I personally recommend just doing it at a time when you can access your email, and go ahead and put that in. I'm going to click activate. And now it's going to bring me to the online public water system reports page. This will normally, it would show me how to log in, and it would bring me back to that page that we first went to. That's going to bring me here again, and it would require me to enter that password and email address. But that is how I would create a report. Now I'm free to search based on any water system I like. It's going to go ahead and let me search. It's going to bring up everything that's associated with Salt Lake City. Now there are some problems that occur. If I were to search and it doesn't bring up my login page, what's happening is that it's viewing what's known as a cached copy, and you'd have to clear your browser's cache. Now this is a troubleshooting segment, and if you're not having a problem, don't worry about it. And every browser is a little bit different. I'm just going to show you how to clear a browser's cache using Google Chrome. But I would come up here to the menu button. I would slide down to the history section, or hit Control-H. It's going to bring up my browsing history, and I can click Clear Browsing Data. It's going to allow me to select all these things. I can do any one of these that I want to delete. Personally, the one that absolutely has to be deleted is the delete cookies and other site plugin data, as well as empty the cache. Those are these two items right here are your must have checked. Click Clear Browsing Data. And that's going to go ahead and that's cleared that up. Now I can go back in here, click on Online Reports. It's going to allow me to go ahead and search from that again. But that should be what clears out your data and what allows you to view those pages as correct. If you have any questions or any problems, feel free to contact me. My information is located right here at the bottom of your screen. You can click on my name to receive my email address, or you can call me at 801-536-4155. Thanks, and good luck enjoying the online reports.